vision did you have for this place, for Uptown Bagels?
My vision for Uptown Bagels was to be a very classy, cozy, trendy, franchisable concept. When I thought it was I'm from the East Coast, so I thought about the bagel shops we had there, and I thought that it was missing here.
Really?
And so I wanted to create something that would catch on to a conservative market with quality products, and my vision was pretty big. Yeah, probably bigger than it actually has come out to be.
All right, now as far as like your daily schedule with working with Uptown Bagel, what's that like? Do you come here in the mornings and then go out to the INL in the evenings, or how do you do that?
Well, for the second year, that's how it's been.
Really? But for the first year, how was it?
First year, 60 plus hours a week.
Here?
Yeah, constant training, adaptation to situations, problems, issues, customer needs. It was more than a full-time job. Even when I would go home, I was still working on the business. My wife gets sick of it because even when we're out, if something comes to mind, I'm still working on the business. You're basically married to it.
Right. Now, as this is your second year here, like you said, how's your daily schedule now with working with Uptown Bagels?
Now, see, I've been lucky because I have a really good manager.
Is that him?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's been up and down. It started out, I had a manager who it didn't quite work out, and so things started dropping because I couldn't be as involved as I wanted to. Then I hired a good manager who came in and could catch the vision, kind of changed the direction that we took things, and it's been pretty easy because he's kind of the type of person who can actually go out and do things without micromanagement.
Right. How did you?
It's definitely key.
Obviously, like along your way to create Uptown Bagels, you had to come with or setbacks or failures had to come, right? What was one of them, and how did you respond to that?
The first setback that I had was finance.
Okay, so how did you end up doing that?
Well, it's probably not the best way to do it. My situation was I went to banks. Banks told me that I had no chance. They said it'd be better to go to family and get somebody who could front you the money and buy them out in 2 years. I went to family. Family said, no way. It's too risky.
Right.
So I started looking at all these credit card offers that I got, raised my limits as much as I possibly could, took whatever cash I had, and I financed it that way.
On credit cards, huh?
Credit cards, lines of credits, a few small business loans.
Really?
Yeah, but there's probably 6 sources of financing through different loans. And I wouldn't suggest doing that, but now I'm started. And I've had people offer to, or interested in purchasing, so it worked out for me. But if it didn't work out, it was hard. And then after about a year, what's really interesting is as soon as the business was up and running, it was instant business credit. It was really easy to get business credit, but again, I wouldn't suggest doing that. It was probably one of the hardest challenges I had, was dealing with the financial stress of doing it that way.
How did you learn how to start a business? Like, where did you start at? Just
I don't know.
Really?
I was a hibachi chef for a couple of years. I was in grocery management. I've worked in delis, I've worked in restaurants, and the whole time I just never thought that I couldn't do it. So I never asked myself how. I just did.
Okay, and then tolerance for I can't say that word.
Ambiguity?
Yeah, ambiguity. There you go.
And that's kind of wish-washy, right?
Yeah. Like open to interpretation. Or is everything like a set way?
that's kind of a tough one. Let's see, because ambiguity in people, I have no tolerance for, but in a negative way. If I don't tolerate wish-washy people. I like, but when it comes to concepts or rules, that's what when it comes to rules, ambiguity is a good thing. Because one thing you got to look at, and I've learned this working for the government as well, if it doesn't say you can't do it, then you can't.
As now you have this location, the one in Idaho Falls, or
I only have this one.
just this one?
Yeah. My dream is to put one there.
So what are your plans, I guess, in achieving that dream?
There's two ways to do it. One is to take on a financial investor. The other is to wait until we have the funds from this one. So that can take several years. When I originally started, my idea was, we'll start paying things back. We can get loans to start a second one. After careful consideration, I decided I don't want to borrow any more money for business. It's just too stressful. And I think it would be more successful. If 1 out of 5 restaurants fail within the first year, and the majority of them, 80% of them, are borrowing money, shouldn't that tell you that could be a huge reason why they're not being successful? Because if you have a $2,000 a month liability, that could be going to your pocket. You see what I mean? And so I think that's the best strategy. You see places like Kragos who expand really fast, most likely on borrowed funds, and then all of a sudden they have to change and cut down because it's like, well, they're in survival mode. Or Bagel Bees, who they had stores all over the place and they had financial problems and they had to shut down because they expanded too fast. You see it a lot of times, and you have to have that capital, and most of the time they're borrowing, and it's so hard to pay back if you don't have the cash flow right now.
Since you're going to sell this once it's enough or whatever, you think you'll start another business, or do you have kind of
Let me put it this way. I love owning this place. If I could spend all my time here and I could make a decent living doing it, I would. If I had multiple locations and I mean it's a passion. And I don't care if it was bagels or anything else. I've had other businesses in the past, little small things. Working for myself and being able to be creative and have something that came from my mind, and see that there's a customer base, a need for it, that I will always want. However, after working for a company with a fairly secure job, there's comfort in that too. Benefits, entrepreneurs, you're self-insured, or you can buy insurance at an unbelievable rate. Investment, it's all you. Everything is you. When you work for a company, you have a regular paycheck. You just do the job, and then you get investments and insurance and all those things that security. You get security, but no risk, no reward, right? So,
How did you get your name out there to get company or to get business coming in?
the first year it was word of mouth. I think we did a mailer once, and marketing is so expensive, and it's a really scary and risky investment. I actually was able to pull from other entrepreneurs here who own businesses, and they've been in this industry for 15, 16 years, and they told me what works for them. So I got to be pretty picky, but it's really expensive, so we just relied on word of mouth, occasional flyers that we pass out to dorms, and sampling. I think, there's a book that I want to read, I've heard a lot about, called Guerrilla Marketing. And someone told me in that book, it talks about you just do a lot of footwork to market, and it's cheap, and it's the most effective. One of the best things we did is we would take half dozen bagels and cream cheese to doctors' offices, to banks, and we would just go out to the white-collar workers in this, just around here, and just give them to them for free. It wasn't expensive. It just took time, and those are our best customers.